both good and bad news from the GDP numbers released today. And as we know, financial year 2020 was a year full of challenges, especially the last quarter. And the report card of the Indian economy is now out. Now, there's both good and bad news as we discussed. The GDP has grown by 8.7%, which is the highest rate we've seen since the year 2000 when it stood at 8.8%. But, and there's a big but here, the growth is from a low base. It's an 8.7% growth after a 6.6% contraction in the financial year 2021. That was, of course, due to the pandemic. But it sure is good news that we're now finally above pre-pandemic levels. The economy stood at 145.2 lakh crore before the pandemic year, and it then dropped to 135.6 lakh crore in 2020 to 21, and it is now pegged at 147.3 lakh crore. So it is an 8.7% GDP growth, since the comparison is with that low base of 135 lakh crore, but we're actually just 1.5% above pre-pandemic levels. And as suspected, the Jan to March quarter this year was the worst hit in the entire financial year. GDP growth slowed to 4.1% in quarter 4, down from 5.1% in the quarter before that. So we can see the impact of the Omicron wave and price rise with supply disruptions following from the Ukraine war. And in fact, to get you the details of quarter 4, 4 GDP indicators witnessed a fall in the Jan to March quarter. Production of crude oil was down by 2.7%. Total telephone subscribers went down by 2.9%. Purchase of private vehicles was down by a significant 19.2%. Cargo handled at major seaports also witnessed a fall in this challenging quarter. Now, how do the numbers fare against estimates? The Reserve Bank of India had estimated the GDP to grow at 9.5% annually, and it expected a 6.1% quarter 4 growth. NSO had also estimated the annual GDP growth to be at 8.9%, while that for Q4 at 4.8%. So the GDP growth is in fact well below estimates.